Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really good today. But before we get into this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the Spidey Squad who's always commenting, retweeting, and sharing their thoughts on this new game that's going to be coming out. And we all know it's going to be awesome. It's so cool to see so much support from all just these people I've never met in my life, and it's really nice to see. It makes me really happy to see so much positivity, and it's nothing ever negative, and you guys are all so awesome. I just want to say thank you. And before we get into this, it'd be really awesome if you guys could just like and subscribe. It'd help me out a lot. It means a lot to me, and I'll give you guys all the best content that I can. So let's get right into this. So the first suit that I would like to see in this game is quite a throwback to the original Tobey Maguire movies, and I think it would be really cool to see this suit because it was only in the first movie and the first game, and it has a very unique look to the spider that's on the back. And I like it because it's not, the skinny one that Tobey has in the second movie, and it looks very interesting, and it's something that hasn't been in the Spider-Man game since, or Spider-Man has even had since. And I think it'd be really cool to see that again, just to, reminisce in that old suit. It'd be really cool. Alright, this is another really good throwback that I think everyone would really like to see. And I'd like to see the old school Tobey Maguire wrestler costume because, again, it's another costume that hasn't been in the Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 1 way back on the original Xbox, and it'd be so cool to see this again because it's just awesome to have those throwbacks to the old stuff, just like how the Arkham game has it. And I'd really like to see it. It'd be so cool. To be in canon with my last suggestions, I would like to see the rest of the movie suits, including the one from Spider-Man 2, because it has a very distinct look to it and looks very different from the first one. And also I'd like to see the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, because the suit change from the first movie to the second movie is very cool, with the shoes, the spider on the back, the front, the gold, the white. It's awesome. Especially the Tom Holland homemade suit and the Tom Holland suit with the yellow jacket would be super cool to see, just because it's on the posters and it's in the movie. To have him with the headphones on and then have him without the jacket as well would be really cool. And I'd also really like to see the new Iron Spider suit that's going to be in Avengers Infinity War. It'd be really cool to have the glowing eyes and the super shiny to make it look like it has armor on it. It would be so awesome to see that. Now, one suit that everyone loves is the black suit, because it's sleek, it's sharp, it's cool, and it's never ever looked bad with any of the Spider-Man suits that it's been on. When the symbiote bonded with the Tobey Maguire suit is really cool to see that, but I prefer the one from the 90s, but it would be really cool just to get both. If this is going to be the biggest and the most definitive Spider-Man experience, I think that they should have both. And just the 90s is such an iconic look, it would be perfect for the game, and just to have that alternate option, it's the best. This Spider-Man suit had his first debut in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, but not with a leather jacket. I think it'd be really cool to get the leather jacket in this, but the one without the leather jacket appeared in Shattered Dimensions and the last Amazing Spider-Man 2 game, which it was really cool in that game because there was a stealth bonuses for it because it was a stealthy suit. And it was really cool to have that, and I wonder if Insomniac will have bonuses for different suits in this game. I think it was a really cool feature about that game. I didn't really like that game very much because just the combat, the voice acting, it was rough, but I don't really want to get into that right now because I could rant about that for quite a few minutes. But anyways, it'd be really cool to see that because the way the eyes light up and the leather jacket looks very cool, and it's something that it's a very unique Spider-Man suit. It's not like the original red and blue or the original symbiote. It's, you know, a leather jacket, sleek 30s, 40s look. It's really cool. Now, before I get into a couple exotic suits I'd like to see, I'd love to see the classic, just red, blue, red boots, big fat spider on the back, and just have the small spider in front. You know, just, it's the classic Spider-Man look. It's like the first one that, you know, was really in the comics with just normal. It's a good look. You know, there's really not too anything, like, there's nothing bad you can say about it, you know. And it's really one of the most definitive Spider-Man suits, in my opinion. It'd also be really cool to see that with the web wings on it. Now that would be really cool to see in the game. I would love this suit because it's a very futuristic and sleek look. It's an awesome looking suit. And I'd also like to see the spider armor, which is in like the very old Spider-Man games. Look very cool. Also in Web of Shadows is in. And this is the more, you know, really exotic suits with the 8-arm Spider-Man and, you know, the Spider-Man 2211. I've never read the comic or anything with that, but it's a very unique looking suit. And also, I'd like to see Iron Spider with the big gold tentacles popping out of the back. It'd be very cool. And also, Cyborg Spider-Man, because, I mean, just having that huge metal arm is so crazy. And with all those suits, you know, the very classic looking ones to the very exotic looking ones, I would love to see just the exotic ones the most, especially with the Cyborg Spider-Man, because could you imagine swinging through New York and you just got a huge cyborg arm on you and stuff? I mean, I think that'd be the coolest thing. Also the 8 arms, I mean, picture shooting multiple webs out of each arm at the same time. I mean, the PlayStation 4 would clearly be able to handle that, and it's just a matter of the developers putting it in there and making it happen. But I think it would be very cool to see. And the biggest thing is with the Iron Spider having like those extra tentacles come out of his back. You know, could you picture climbing up a wall and the other 4 help you move up and go faster? I mean, it'd be such a cool feature. And, you know, with that, guys, I would love for you guys to subscribe, and I can keep on making as many videos like this as possible, and also be doing God of War as well when that comes out. I already have it, the collector's edition pre-ordered, and I'll be doing an awesome unboxing video of that. And I just hope all of you guys can come on this YouTube journey with me. It really makes me happy to see so much support from the Spidey Squad and Evan Flarka and just everyone. I mean, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for taking time to watch my video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, thank you. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really good today. So, today, the topic I want to talk about is things Spider-Man gamers hate. Alright, let's get right into it. So, one of the first things I have to say is having a lame system of no fall damage, just like in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. You know, you would fall from super high height, and once you would get, you know, pretty close to the ground, he would just shoot out a couple of webs, and you wouldn't land. I mean, you'd drop on the ground, and you would take no fall damage whatsoever. It's just, I already talked about this in my previous videos. You guys can check that out. But what I really would like to see is a more sense of realism. Like, if you jump off the Empire State Building, you should at least die or take a ton of damage. But, well, obviously, if you jump off something that high, even if you're Spider-Man, you know, you're gonna get hurt. You saw even in the gameplay trailer, he got hit with the big concrete thing after he jumped off the building. That knocked him out for a second. So I really think if they're going for the realistic approach, they need to have some fall damage. Next thing I have is just crappy stealth. I mean, when is the last time in a Spider-Man game you've seen good stealth? Okay, yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 both had stealth, but it was just so awful. In the second game, anytime you were in the open world, every time on the ground you go to do a stealth attack, it would be the same exact attack animation every single time. and it just got so boring just to watch the game. It's just like, come on, throw in some variety, you know. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just lazy on the developers' part for that game. And one thing that I'd really like to see is a long story, not like a short one. Like, you know, if you pay $60 for a game, you should be getting $60 worth of a game. Like, I think for $1 for every hour that you play. Well, that's just my opinion. And it's just, when you pay that much, it should be, you get what you pay for. And I understand that it takes a long time, and it takes a lot of money for these developers to make these games, but when they make them, they should, make a long story, make it entertaining, make it last a long time, make us want to keep on going. What's gonna happen, what's more and more. And one thing that really needs an upgrade in these Spider-Man games is the combat. Notice how, and besides the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, all the other ones, it was just, okay, punch was just, an X button and whatnot, but it was just, you had your web button and you could throw together some combos. And Spider-Man 2 in 2002 was, not 2002, 2004, my bad guys. 2004 was really cool, just like all the different animations you could do. Like, it wasn't boring after all the ones that you could unlock, but I feel like Spider-Man PS4 will take the more Arkham approach to it because of what we've seen so far. You see him jumping around, shooting them with web balls and stuff and hitting them and whatnot, but it looks really smooth and it won't be very repetitive, and I'm really excited to see what they do with that. Oh guys, now this is a big one. This is probably the biggest pet peeve out of any of us big old Spider-Man game fans. The worst thing is just bad swinging. It really takes you out of the whole immersion of the game because it is literally the main mode of your transportation, going back and forth in the entire city, and it's the worst because if it doesn't feel right, then it really takes you out of it and it'll make you mad, and it really sucks, like having the webs not attached to buildings, or also how in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, when you're swinging, it's like you had the left arm and the right arm. It was a good idea on paper, but actually doing it, it just looked and felt so lame because the buildings felt really skinny with really narrow streets. It didn't feel open. You felt really congested, and it just wasn't done right. And one thing that all of us are very tired of seeing, just like seeing Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed, is nobody wants to see Uncle Ben die again. We were all sick of it. We don't need any flashbacks. We don't need any of that. It's lame. We know it. Everybody knows it. Everyone and their grandma knows it. I really think that that's the last thing that we need in any Spider-Man game ever again. It was only in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but other than that, it really hasn't been in any game, just the movies. But just seeing it in the movies alone, just really, it's annoying. And Spider-Man, he has one of the biggest and the best rogues gallery of villains. Just having the Green Goblin and the Shocker is cool. The Rhino is just stupid but hilarious, and the Sandman is just super powerful. And Venom, come on, you can't go wrong with Venom and Carnage. Those stories alone are absolutely insane with how dark that they can go and how creative the writing can be. And if they could do Venom and Carnage, because some of the best stories are with Venom, because just of how personal things get with him and Spider-Man. It's really cool to see that relationship evolve and see how angry he gets and wants to just take it all out on him and Spider-Man. He's got to figure out how to solve his problems, as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It's really cool. And one thing that we really haven't seen in these games is, a lack of, say, a plot twist. How cool would that be just to have a really nice plot twist in the game? It'd be so awesome just to, you go through the whole game thinking, this is all good, this is cool. Web of Shadows, it was really awesome to be able to make your own choices between good and bad and see the different endings, but, it would be really cool just to play the whole game and be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I mean, I think that would be a great storytelling feature that they could put into the game. And I really hope they have some good voice acting. The voice acting for the last Spider-Man games has just been rough. I mean, it was really cool when they brought Toby in to do it, and Neil Patrick Harris was alright, but I mean, other than that, like, the guy that did the last 2 Spider-Man games, I mean, it was just so rough to listen to, and the writing in those games were just, they were awful. And there's some things that I really want to see in these games, and just, you know, a little boost of creativity, and just, you know, give you that exploration incentive to look around and, you know, just find out where secret items are. And what I mean by secret items is, like, it was just super lame having, you know, comic books. It's like, yeah, there was a ton of them, but you could see them on your map, and they're really easy to find. I mean, heck, they glowed gold, and you could see them all the way across the map, for crying out loud. I mean, it was super easy. And I'd really like to see something that is, you know, it's challenging, just like the coins from Spider-Man 2 in 2004, you know, it's really cool to have, you know, like a puzzle factor, like an Arkham Knight and all that, and just, Arkham Knight did it great, because there's puzzles, and there was the ones where it was easy to find, but with Spider-Man 2 in 2004, it was awesome to have those secret hidden rooms, and it was to, you know, go in them, and then just a gang spawns right there, and they come at you just out of nowhere, and you gotta defend yourself before you get your butt handed to you. You know, it's just, it's really cool to see stuff like that. And going along with Spider-Man's big rogues gallery of villains, they could really do some awesome boss battles with his villains that he has. Well, I mean, just the amount of powers, and like the Green Goblin like getting stuck on his glider, and the Spider-Man 1 on the original Xbox and having to fight him on that. It just felt so cinematic, like it was actually in the movie, and it's just so cool to see stuff like that. But having really repetitive and lame boss fights, like how recent Spider-Man games have been, those are the ones that I'm mainly bashing on right now, because Spider-Man games have not been good in a long time. It's in my own opinion. I mean, you guys can think what you want. I mean, I really enjoyed, like, Web of Shadows. That was probably the last one that I really enjoyed. Alright, now this is probably my biggest pet peeve for Spider-Man games, is having a big open world with just, the map is huge, and there's so much in it, and, you know, there's just literally so much going on. And you have all these cars in the streets, you have a really cool looking city, daytime, nighttime, it always generally looks pretty awesome. And the biggest problem is it feeling empty. Like, for instance, you can walk down the street, everyone will be like, oh cool, it's Spider-Man, and they'll take a picture of you and stuff, but I mean, just anytime you walk down the street and they just do the same lame thing every single time, it's so, just feels like it's just the same thing, and repetitive, and it just feels empty, you know. And I think they should really, you know, put something extra into that, like have it interact with the story. So consider your actions in the story will differentiate how civilians will treat you in the city. Like, say Spider-Man messes up, and the civilians will look at him like he's a menace, and will talk trash to him in the city if they see him swinging by. And when he's doing great, they could, you know, compliment him, be like, oh sweet, there's Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man can say something back, you know, like how for instance, the very first scene of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie, how it starts out, you know, like he's swinging in, having a great time, you know, saying what's up to everybody while he's swinging, and everyone just loves him, you know. I mean, that's what really, how, you know, Spider-Man really feels like. He's a lighthearted character, and he's there to have fun, you know. It's like he's swinging, all you hear is like a woo, you know, you just keep on swinging, you know. It's like he celebrates, like he knows that he's having fun, and he's Spider-Man, and he looks cool while he's doing it. Just seeing that interaction with Spider-Man, the civilians in the city, and just like interacting with the environment. Like, say you're swinging really low to the ground, and well, when you go really low to the ground, you're on one strand of webbing, and you take your one hand and it just grazes against the ground, and he just lifts your legs up and shoots you flying in the air. I mean, just it'd be so cool to see something like that. Just to have a really cinematic feeling about this game, this new Spider-Man PS4 game is really what I want. That sounds like the ultimate experience to me, and it's mainly really what I'm looking for in this game, just to feel just like the ultimate, most definitive Spider-Man game, and I know for a fact that's what it's going to be, and I really hope that none of these things arise in the new game. I'd just like to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and a big shout out to the Spidey Squad and all you guys in the community. You guys are all awesome, and thank you so much for watching my videos. Like and subscribe. I'll keep on cranking these out to you no matter what. I mean, if one person looks at my video, it makes my day, and I just want to thank all you guys for, listening to what I have to say. So thank you, and I will see you in the next one.